Well, welcome back to another episode of Penny's Hot Rod and Custom. I'm still working on the 3/4 horsepower Titan air starting engine. Today we're getting to doing all the machine work, and the piston will be the first thing we're going to do. Okay. It's supposed to be a 1/4 inch for a ring. That's the size, but you can see there's a lot of slop there. And then it gets a little tighter here. With the back one, not too bad, but the first two, they're terrible, and they're worn pretty good. So what we'll do is we'll set up the piston up in the lathe, and the new rings I have are 5/16, and these are 1/4 inch. So we're just going to open these up a little bit of the groove to put the new rings in. And I still haven't decided what I'm going to do about this oiling system, but we're definitely going to change something because it's not good. It's just going to pound itself out again, but at least this time we'll oil it. Well, we will oil it. But we also got to bore this out to put an oversized pin in. But I guess for right now, we'll go check this up in the lathe and start fitting our new rings in. And I'll show you the new rings. They're going to be a 2-piece ring. Because when it comes with a piston, people think you can just put I got new ring put in it. Good. But when from side to side clearing, you only want about maybe 3-4 thou at the max clearance on your side. Because if you got too much wear on the side, what happens, the air just goes underneath the ring, comes up and bypasses the ring, so you lose your compression. And you don't want to do it too tight, then, bad things will happen. You'll end up scoring out your cylinder or blah, blah, blah. So that's why I always tend to spend a bit more time on my piston. That way I know I don't have to worry about blow-by and have a bad compression, and then you gotta sit there and wind your engine over 50 million times to try to get it started. So we'll go set this up and start working on her. Anyway, I have the piston all set up in the lathe, and straight as it's going to be, because there is a bit of wear in the piston, so that's fine. I'm going to end up taking about, I don't know, a couple cuts. It will end up probably being about 30 thou off the first landing of the piston ring, and then whatever remained inch I need to take off, I'll take off on the second landing here. And then we'll just slowly keep going till we get our proper size what we want, so we can fit our new rings in. So we'll take a cut here. Alright, that looked pretty good there. I'll take some more measurements, and when it comes back to the final cut, I'll bring you guys back and you can see that. Alright, I have finished cutting number 1 piston ring, the groove for this one, and I got my gauge block to what I wanted. Perfect, because I wanted my 2 thou bigger than what I'm putting in the ring for side to side clearance. I just used, when I get fairly close to my size that I want, whatever I'm going for, I use gauge blocks and just build which one you want, and that way I can get an accurate reading. If you don't want to go too big, then you kind of screwed yourself. So that's perfect. I'm 2.5 thou bigger than what I wanted. That's what I wanted. So this is all I use. It's just a gauge block with a bunch of precision numbers. So that worked out perfect. I have the ring that I'm going to use is right here. I've got just about 2.5 thou. That's perfect. The reason why I'm using multiple rings is there's nothing wrong using this. If you kind of have a cylinder that has a bit of wear, and there is about a 4 or 5 thou taper, each one of these will choose a different size, so it will seal the cylinder, and it'll just seal a lot better. So I've kind of experimented with this before, and it seems to work really good with me. For what we're doing, this is perfect. So now I'm gonna do that 2 more times, and then we are done the rings, which is actually a pretty big thing on this thing. I'm not too sure. I'll keep open the grooves up and put the next set of rings in, and then we should have a complete set of, a complete, a piston that's done. And then we'll just work on the, making a new wrist pin. Okay, so far I cut a new, oversized the hole for the new wrist pin, because the other wrist pin had quite a bit of a slop to it. So all I did was just use myself a centering reamer. That worked perfect. You just go that way, turn it around, go that way, and I can go through the whole thing. That way everything stays centered. So now I'm just over here cutting a new wrist pin. I know my diameter, so I'm just cutting that right now. And with this little lathe, I don't take honking cuts on it, so I take my time. So, and then this is 4340, so it's a good heavy material for a wrist pin, so you're not going to wear that out. Okay. Alright, it's been the next day. I've had a little bit of time to do some work. So this is part of the where the roller lifters go in here. So, and they have there's a bearing that goes, a shaft that goes through here, and that's where your 2 cam lobes are. But I already pressed one bearing out there. They got quite a bit of wear in it. So this is just my cheap little tool, how I made it. Just, if I did not want to hit these with a hammer or anything and start putting stress onto the bracket, I didn't want to crack it. So I just found whatever tool I had around, or pieces of metal, and I just made myself a little press. Oh, I guess I got to get a screwdriver to hold that. But what I'll do is I'll put the camera down, and then once it's just about to come out, I'll show you guys then. Okay, you can see I've already pressed the bearing out. Like, this was just material I had around the garage, so I didn't have to go modify anything. So it worked just quite fine. Pull that off. There's my washer, what I use to use as a shoulder just to pull the bearing out. And there's the bearing. So there's both of them. So what I'll do is I'll measure them up, and I got a nice hunk of brass I think it's bronze, and we'll make 2 new ones. So there is a little bit of wear on the shaft, but it's not that bad. So I'm going to make these actually a bit tight, right on 3/4, or maybe a thou a bit bigger power than them. And then there won't really be much room on that shaft for the cam tower here. So next we will go and do some more lathe work, making bushings. And I think, from what I see, I found a piece of, a real nice piece of brass, or bronze. I think that's what we're going to use. There's a good, we'll use this guy, what I have in stock, and I'm not losing much for material for outside it. I can make it work, so. Alright, I'll get everything set up, and we'll go from there. Alright, you can see that I've already pulled these out. My little cheap contraption for pulling out bushings. One was there and one was there. I already made 2 of them already. 2 of the new bushings to put in here because they were pretty worn out. I did make a little landing on them so that way it was easier to put in here, and then it kind of sets itself straight when you pull it in. That way you're not pulling them crooked. And usually when you're doing this, you can either put a little bit of Loctite or something. I'm just putting oil, just a little bit, just so nothing picks up or binds. Like I said, this is fairly straightforward, this, and I just ratchet it away. I made these about a 1/2 thou tight. That's plenty good enough for what that is. Oh, maybe I gotta hold my other wrench. Oh, it's still going. It'd be easier if I had a little impact or something on it. Almost. There's a million different ways you could do this for setting in your, pulling in new bearings, or you could maybe, I don't want to drop that, put in the vise and push it in, but I've seen people where they hit them with a hammer, but I don't want to break the cast. The cast can be very strong, but also can be very weak too. So, yeah. That new bushing's in there. I gotta do the same to the other side. And then I'm just gonna drill a new hole for the oiling, and just engrave inside so that way oil gets around the whole shaft. And then after that, I kind of just playing with one of the roller rockers. I started pushing out one, but we'll finish it out. They're pretty worn bad, so we'll make new pins to go in here, because this one was hitting. The wheel went down so far it was hitting on the side here, so it's just typical. Like this one I haven't touched with, but you can see the wheel. It's not bad, but since I got it taken apart, I may as well put new pins in. It's one thing less thing I have to worry about. So I'll go put the second one in, and then maybe see about making a new pin, I guess. Alright, you can see I've got both bearings in. They're in. I still got to drill the hole for the oil. No big deal. Alright, sometimes when you press in new bearings, things change a little bit. So I just had to hone it just a little bit. I just used a, these are for wheel cylinders on drum brakes. These for honing. And this worked great. Fit it in there. It was just touching it up. And that worked great. It only took me, what, 30 seconds. And I'll put the camera down. I can't do this both, 2 things at once. I'm back. Alright, now you can see I got it back in it. Oh, this spins nice. There's just the way it's supposed to be. Just a little bit of play, that's what you want. So that's way better than it was before. I think I measured the other one was out almost 10,000. It was quite a bit. It was enough to kind of piss me off, so I like my things kind of nice as I can get them, as possible. Alright, now, I have no idea. I guess maybe I should drill these out. I'm just going to drill them out and just grave some little oiling pockets in there, and you don't need to see that. It's really simple. That way just oil stays in and it wipes the shaft. And I guess after that maybe we'll work on the cam towers. And then we can get this, or sorry, we'll work on the, well, this is the cam tower. We'll work on the rollers. And then that way we can get this guy done. Alright, here's the roller lifter, which I've already kind of broken this side loose already, the one pin. This one had a lot of play. This was the reason why I was going to pop this one out anyway. The other one is not as bad, but just because I have it apart, I'm going to take it apart and I'll put a new pin in it. There's a bit of wear, but you'll see when I take it apart. So if I do, just put it in place. Get it snugged. And then, just give me a second here. Oh, I gotta take it. Still get out, but you can see how badly that's worn. So the other one will probably be about half of that, but still, since it's apart, maybe we'll change it. So you guys seen how I popped that one out, so I'll go pound it out, and then we'll go find some new steel for the new pin. Well, I spent a bit of time taking these roller lifters apart, and you can see how bad that one was worn. There was almost half of it. So that one, this one wasn't as bad, but it still had pretty worn too. So I got some good. These are, I think I made rollers. They're out of 4340, good steel, and I got some good hardened pin. Not too hard, because I got to heat these up and pin them in here. And then we'll have brand new roller lifters. So that's the next thing. So I guess what I'll do is I'll go set up the torch and pin these in. We squish them in. Not squishing this part, but just squish the ends in and then grind it down, and then those are done, and then we can start putting this roller system back together. And that's a pretty big item to have. So if you don't have it, the engine's not going to run very well. So, alright, I'll get some tools set up. And okay, I've already started one. So all I want to do is pin these in, and I don't want to crush the roller because the roller's still got to move. So all I do, this is how I do it, but just to get it started, I just kind of mangle it in a bit. Okay, it's not going to go through there, and then I'll start mangling this side. Alright, now it's not going to go through, so I don't have to worry about that. And then put a glove on. It'd be easier if I had another hand, but oh well. And I just take my time beating it in. But I don't want to go too crazy at it because I don't want to pinch the roller part. So I can use a heavier hammer, but then it might squish this all in. So I just repeat the process and it gets there. Like I say, everybody has a different way of doing things. So I'm going to put that there. And I just keep repeating it till I beat it till I'm happy. And then you can see I still have a little bit more, but there's a chamfer in here, so I want to fill that all in. That was just a little bit there too. That way the roller never falls out. And well, maybe that one tight. I might have to work on that one, but you don't want to pinch it too badly. This one, oh, that rolls good, but it's a little warm. But I'll keep doing that, and then I'll when I'm done, I'll show you guys how it's all back together, and it'll stay together for a long time. Well, I got a little bit of time I can work on Kevin's little air-cooled engine here. I've been kind of working on, I don't know, multiple things. I've been sticking the parts scattered all over the place, working on Camaro, personal stuff. So, I can't remember where I left it off last time, but I'm sorry if I repeated some things here twice, but I made a piston pin. That's done. Beautiful. All I gotta do is take it to the mill, put two little slots in there, so that way when you tighten the set screws up, I can lock the piston pin in. I am changing this whole design because the original is you clamp it onto the wrist pin, and this stays solid, and the piston pin slides in here. Well, like I said before, I'm pretty sure I said this before, the lubrication doesn't get in there, and the steel and steel, not the best thing. Steel and bronze works a lot better. So if I'm going to lock this in, then I'm going to lock this and bore this out the side, and then I'm going to drill a hole right in here, and that's going to be working and get lubricated, just like how all the other engines are. Most of them are done this way. And this is an oiling point right here. That's when it drips through the cylinder wall. That's where your oiler here, and your oil drips into here. So I'm going to make a hole right here, so it's going to drip through, and that will oil my wrist pin. And this way, design, I'm going this way because we would like to run this for a couple hours a period of time. And I think this engine was only meant to run to pump up the compression or whatever, and need to turn the motor over, and that was it. This way I'm able to run the engine for a couple hours and do no harm to it. And I did make rings for this. I just gotta figure out what ring goes where, but okay. I think that's why I stopped. I didn't have my little mill. It kind of broke down, but I'll go clean the mess up over there, and we'll go and cut that out. And I don't know how far we're going to go today. Maybe hopefully have the whole piston assembly done, and then we got to get back to the cam tower. I think that's done. I've already did the bushings on that. So, alright, enough rambling on. Alright, all I do is just put it in the mill. Nothing fancy. Dropping down the same height. You can see little end grooves in there. That's where my little set screws will lock into there. You don't want to bunch up the metal. And another thing done, I guess. Just gotta clean the edges off a little bit. See, nothing fancy. Alright, I guess now we'll go clean it up, and then we will, I don't know, modify the connecting rod. Now, I guess I should be shooting for a good video there, so I hope you guys are watching. But, oh well, that's just eyeball it. You don't have to go into too special making it, just so you can lock it. You start locking screws on the high spot, it squeezes the metal, and it makes it really hard to pull through, and it's just usually just put a flat spot in it. Anyway, I finally got the whole board out to the size I wanted to. I just took my time. I couldn't really put the camera over in the corner of the garage. It's just not enough room. I got to clean up this place one day, but this is the tool I use. I just use an adjustable reamer. And I just took my time, just a quarter of a turn. You loosen off this end, tighten that in, that expands your cutters. I just took my time, and I'm very happy with it. I got it where I wanted for my measurement, and now the piston pin fits just perfect. That's what I wanted. You remember, these things don't heat up this end. This is called the small end, and this end only moves a little bit. So all I have to do now is just drill a hole, a good sized hole, and chamfer it. That way the oil drips in here and lubricates this, and then we can put it all back in the piston, and that part is done. I'm just trying how this works. See how my theory of oiling the small end, see if this works a little bit better. I'm not a fan of it being piston pin sliding on the piston part. So I locked this bolt in. It's never coming out the way I want, because I got locked tight and I don't want it to move. So I guess what we'll do is we'll drill a hole here, and we'll call that a video. Now we still got to do a little bit of piston work. I think just do some gapping the rings. I got rings for, I think I even, oh yeah, I had that in the video, doing that. And I don't know, maybe put everything back together, starting to. And I think the plan is we're going to make 3 of these engines. So some of these parts will have to get recapped. I don't think we have enough connecting rods and some other parts, but we have the base and the flywheel and everything else. I think we're just missing one cylinder, but I think we're going to get one patterned up. So not a big deal to machine. It's actually very simple to do. So alright, I'll go find a drill, and we shall drill that out, chamfer it, and we're done. Okay, this is the last part I have to do on the piston for the oiling system. Oh, my pin fell out. I've already found my center. I've already did some little measurement. Yeah, I'm not hurting anything. Alright, I've already found my high spot. This is going to be my oiling part. Instead of going this way and this way, I want it to go straight. So might have to. Yeah, went through. More. Oh. Okay. I thought I had a smaller one of these guys, but I don't. That way, just give it a bigger chamfer. Alright, I'm happy with that. I just gotta take a little bit of emery cloth, just clean up the edges here. So now that will drip down into the wrist pin. That's the whole idea I'm changing to this design. That way we can actually run it for a while. I don't know. We're doing 3 of these engines, so maybe I will do one right to factory spec. Yeah. So here's my wrist pin. The oil drips in here, and then it drips into here, and that's what drips into here, and that way everything's all lubricated. That's the plan. And I think it will, because that's how Pretty much every engine, well not every, but most engines are all, I don't know my hammer, lubricated that way. So, why can't I do that with this? Just lined up like that. What I'll do is I'll get this push started. I might have put a little nick in there or something, but I'll clean it all up before I put it together. And then oil here, oil there. There we go. That's my oiling system. I don't know if you guys can see, but that's how the oil drips through there. It lubricates everything. I'm perfect. Couldn't ask for anything better. And then I got my locking screws to put for the wrist pin, so that the way the wrist pin never turns in here, it stays solid. The connection rod moved, that's called the small end. And that's it. And then it'll get, that's your, over here, that's your lubrication part, where the oiler goes there. So, I can't see why not, this is not going to work. So, I think that's where I'll leave the video at this one. If I have no idea, I know it's been a couple weeks I even touched this thing, so I've kind of forgotten what I've done, but I think I'll leave this video as this, and thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.